And welcome to True Sports, episode 38. I'm Taylor Phillips. He's Louis Tenor. Oh, man. The NHL and NBA playoff races heat up. We'll start with the NHL. Um, the Red Wings are catching up. They beat the Capitals 3-1. Their only loss in the five-game road trip was to Seattle. The Kraken, uh, second place in the Pacific Division. Second place.
In their second year.
Yeah, second year, yeah. But the Red Wings, they caught up to 62 points.
Mm.
My goodness. Um, yeah, oh, my goodness. They're only two spots away from the Florida Panthers. Wow. They just jumped the Capitals in a,
Oh,
in a tiebreaker that the Red Wings own 27-21 and 8. The Capitals 25-20, 28-25 and 20, no, 28-25 and 6.
mm,
The Capitals have four more regulation losses than the Red Wings have. That's why the Red Wings own that tiebreaker.
yeah. Kind of surprising this year, isn't it?
Wow. Hey, the Red Wings are improving. That they're
Yes.
making progress. That's the key. That's nothing weird about that. They got a new head coach, Derek Lalonde. They got all that talent. Oli Mana, Pius Suter, who's starting to uh, put his stick on fire. He got 2 goals tonight. He got a game-winning shootout goal in Edmonton. He got a goal in Calgary. He got a goal in Seattle. For God's sake,
Wow.
he's got a 4 game. For frick's sake,
Yeah.
wow. Dylan Larkin got ejected tonight, but that doesn't matter. Red
Oh,
Wings
oh.
win 3-1. Billy Husso has improved as a goaltender. The defense has improved. Their power play has, has has been solid on the road, just awful at home. 28th ranked in the NHL at home, but second ranked uh, on the road. It's just odd.
Yeah.
I'll take the uh, I'll take the road power play way over the home somehow. Anyhow. Oh man, Michigan State just came back to lead number 17 Indiana 35-29. Are you kidding me?
Mm.
Wow. So the Rangers still third place in the Metropolitan Division, 75 points, 33-15 and 9.
Mhm. It's
But
nice loss to the Jets. Yeah.
yeah, the Winnipeg Jets. Let me check them.
Yes.
The Winnipeg Jets second place in the Central Division, 71 points, 35-21 and 1. Only one overtime
Mm.
loss.
Wow.
Yeah, 35 wins for the Winnipeg Jets.
Ugh.
That's damn high. That is damn high, I tell you.
Them especially.
Even one win higher than the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are trying to hang on to a 5-3 lead. It's now 6-3. One of the Leafs just scored a hat trick. It's Ryan O'Reilly, who came back to the Leafs from the Blues, the St. Louis
For the,
Blues.
for the trade.
Yeah, trade deadline. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. As far as I'm concerned, the Blues 10 points back of that second Western Conference wildcard spot held by the Minnesota Wild, 65.
Mm.
So, but the Red Wings are in a buyer's market. Imagine if they reacquired Andreas Athanasiou in a trade with the Chicago
Oh,
Blackhawks. They're sellers.
okay.
Andreas Athanasiou. He was a star on the Red Wings when we had Ken
Yes.
Holland as their general manager.
That was my first year here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Andreas
that's a
was happy
name
to see
for
you
you.
too. Yeah, and Andreas was happy to see you too. Oh. Oh. Bad, bad.
Oh, you He used to be good for Detroit. Did he? What is he not good
Right.
for the Chicago Blackhawks?
That was just a joke. That was just a joke. I did that years
Right.
ago when we first started.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
7 years ago.
Gotcha. And then
Yeah.
going to the NBA, we know the Pistons are out of it. Not worried about it.
Ah,
But oh, let's see. Let's go to those NBA standings. Standings. What the hell? Man, Boston Celtics 42-17
oh,
against, and then the Denver Nuggets 41-18.
yeah.
The Bucks, the Milwaukee Bucks 41-17, a half game behind the Celtics for first in the East.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, then you got the Greek Freak.
Yeah. So there are now 10 teams in the in each NBA conference, Western and Eastern. Seeds 7 through 10 of each conference will play in a play-in tournament. While the Pistons are just you know probably stand at number 3 overall in the NBA draft lottery. Yeah. Yeah, they're number 3, 15-44. Spurs 14-45. Houston Rockets 13-45. So what do you think of the playoff races, NHL and NBA?
Now, because the time of year is heating up, I like to see that my Rangers, they're hanging in there. They have a chance now to, move close the Devils because they lost tonight against Montreal. So if the Rangers can win tomorrow or Thursday, where it is, they could have a chance to pull within 2 of the Devils now. So that's going to be good there. I'm a little worried about my Nets because since the trade, they got Spencer Dinwiddie to come back. I'm not too confident right now with them. I mean, they've been falling off. I know they're still like about 10 games above 500,
Their
but
real
that
problem
trade,
is Ben Simmons.
that's the truth right there. He's an idiot. Ugh,
Yeah, Simmons
an
can't even
embarrassment.
play at all.
No. And they overhyped him anyway from the beginning of his career. Even before he got drafted into the NBA, they were making a big fuss about him, thinking he's going to be the next best thing to sliced bread. He hasn't done jack since he
I don't
got here.
blame those people.
Yeah. Thank you, Slam Magazine, for the biggest joke of the century.
Yeah, yeah. But that being said, the Brooklyn Nets 34-24, still fifth place in the
We were
East.
second. Yeah.
Yeah, without Simmons, yeah, or third.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go for third. Not quite second. Milwaukee and Boston
No, no,
are too good.
we were second before
Oh,
the trades and what happened. And
oh, that's what you said.
yes, and the Yucks, I mean the Bucks caught up, which probably was going to be expected anyway.
Yeah,
Milton and
the Greek
you know
Freak, Giannis
Milton,
Antetokounmpo, Drew Holiday.
Holiday,
Those are elite players.
stacked lineup.
Yes, stacked lineup indeed. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Celtics, like him or not, they have Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart,
Uh,
Al Horford.
yeah.
They got a stacked lineup too.
And you know me that because I've always hated the Celtics ever
Right.
since I was young.
Yeah. The Knicks,
That's my
however, 33-27.
eh, not bad, but could be a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah. They're making progress. Speaking of which,
Yes.
all right. So, um, just about a week away from MLB spring training. What are your thoughts?
Well, for one thing, I kind of like the new rules that they're coming in. Using the pitch clock. 15 seconds to start with nobody on base, then a runner on, 20 seconds and whatnot. Because baseball needs to speed up the game because, you know, in this age of instant everything, you want to get the game moving along, especially with the younger generation because they can't sit still for 5.5 hours. So, with the pitch clock and the runner on second, which has been in place for the last 2 years now, I like that. Instead of going through mostly a 17, 18 inning game, which can take about daybreak, this is gonna, get the get the flow better. And I like that. I know a lot of the baseball viewers say, "Oh, this is a real baseball. This is a sham." Is it really? I mean, you want to go through that agony of 18, 19 innings? No, thank you. I didn't like it when I was young. So I like what they're doing with these um, new rules, and you know, and there's talk maybe thinking that last year's judge thinking maybe another 62. I don't know. That's a little bit hard to come by. I mean, it's a lot to live up to when you had a great season and broke the home run record of 61 home runs. There's thinking, could it happen again? Probably not. There's a lot of hype about that. It's hard to duplicate, what you did the year before. I mean, if he got 50, that'd be great. Okay, he might think it's disappointing coming from 62, but I would sell for 50. And the Mets still think that they can win. Yeah, it was as with Uncle Steve, because like you said, money doesn't buy you a championship. That is so true. Everybody thinks if you get the most money, right players, that you're gonna walk all over everybody and just win the World Series just like that. That's true. You can have the biggest payroll and be a complete bust.
Gotta earn it.
So, yeah, you gotta earn it. Don't give me that. Oh, we're gonna win this year. We got a stack of line. We have a gazillion-dollar payroll. That's a big myth, buddy. That is a big myth. You cannot win by buying players. Anybody that
Remember
says
when
that
Tiger?
is
Remember when Tigers
correct.
fans felt that way
Yes,
with all the talent that they had a decade ago,
yes.
and an experienced manager in Jim Leland. That's a name.
Can't
They
forget
went to the
Jimmy.
World Series twice in '06 and then 2012, and they still
Chamberlain.
failed. Only one World Series win, one World Series game won in those two trips.
I saw that game-winning home run, the pennant with I think it was Ordonez, and like, oh my goodness, that
Yeah,
was
the
like,
American League
oh
against the Athletics.
yeah,
Yeah, mess with the bull, you
won the pen.
get the horn.
Yeah. So it should be a very interesting season in MLB, or so again as the new MLB, sort of.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Baseball games, Major League Baseball games usually lasted about 3 hours, not quite five, technically.
That was just exaggeration. I mean, it
Right.
it felt kind of slow. Average was about uh three 317, I think, last year, in a regular 9 inning game.
hmm
About
So
that.
imagine Major League Baseball games lasting less than 3 hours. More Major League Baseball games lasting less than 3 hours.
That'd be something. We haven't seen that since like the late '70s or early '80s.
I know.
Yeah, in my lifetime.
Those were quicker, I'll bet.
Yeah, they were. And with the bases bigger too, that might be a factor as well. Even though that some people say, oh, that's as large as two pizza boxes. Yeah, okay, sure. Y'all have my one anchovies to go. Thank you.
Well, here, here's my thought. Here's one thought that I have on that. The infielders, when a runner is trying to steal a base, sometimes they try to block the bag
Mm,
and try to get the runner out easier. Well,
yes.
the but now since the bases are big, if the bases are bigger, the runner ha, has more base room to touch the base,
Yes.
and it'll make it more difficult for the fielders to block the bag.
Yeah. It's a good strategy.
hmm
At least I think so.
Yeah. So yeah, Yeah, that's pretty much it. For yeah, too early to predict the to predict March Madness anyway,
Not yet.
because not yet. Yeah, it's too early, like I just
Yeah.
said. So,
Right.
with that being said, it's time for your true sports report. Lewis, take it away.
All right, and away we go. All right, so we have some games in progress in the NHL, and it goes like this: the Wild lead the LA Kings 1-0 right now, with 7:29 to go in the third. Also in the third, the Predators are leading the Canucks 3-2 with 13:23 to go in the third. Just ending the second period, the Knights are over the Blackhawks 2-1, heading into the third period. Moving right along, the Devils lost to Montreal 4-2, ending their 7-game winning streak. My girlfriend's gonna hate me for this. Okay. The Hurricanes over the Blues 4-1. The Lightning had an easy time over the Ducks 6-1. Wow. Red Wings over the Capitals 3-1. Sorry, Steve. And the Leafs doubled up on the Sabres
Let's
six
go
to
Red Wings.
three. Yeah. They're doing fine even without Jack Eichel though. Okay. I'll buy that. So we'll go to the standings, the complete standings, and it runs. Now let's do the schedule first. Yeah, we'll do tomorrow's schedule first. It's a light night in the NHL, as it usually is on Wednesdays, and it goes like this: only 3 games on the schedule here. Your 7 o'clock game, the Jets take on the Islanders. Your 9:30 games are the Calgary Flames versus the Arizona Coyotes.
Any of
And
them
your
on TNT?
one game is on TNT. The Blackhawks against the Stars at 9:30.
Okay, gotcha. Is there
I don't
another
know
one
why
at 7? Is there another one at 7?
there's
Uh,
only one game at 7. That's the Jets and the Islanders.
is that on TNT?
No, actually it isn't. I'm surprised.
No. Jets and Islanders. That looks like a very good game because both
Well, I was
both teams are in the playoff hunt.
yes, but I can see that in
Well,
my
I look
area
at the standings.
since I live in the New York area.
Right.
Right. Then I'm not a fan, but you know. So the standings go like this. In the Atlantic, yep, the Bruins are still hot, unfortunately. 43, 8, and 5, 91 points. I'm sickened by it.
Wow.
The Leafs, 6, 6, 6. The Leafs are 35, 15, 8, 78 points. The Lightning, 36, 17, and 3, 75 points. The Panthers, 29, 25, and 6, 64 points. Your Red Wings, probably one of the most improved teams of the year, 27, 21, 8, 62 points. Well, depending who you ask.
Yeah, baby.
The Sabres, not so bad either, 28, 23, and 4, 60 points. Sorry, Jack. Senators, 58 points at 27, 25, and 4 at 58 points. And the Canadians, 24, 29, and 4, 52 points. Over to my side, the Metropolitan, it goes like this. The Hurricanes, yeah, they still lead the division at 84 points, 38, 10, and 8. Wow. Devils, 5 points behind at 37, 15, and 5, but they lost tonight. So, if the Rangers win on Thursday, 33, 15, and 9, they could move up in the standings. Oh, wait, the Devils play at night too. So we got to keep an eye on both games on Thursday night. Well, I will. Islanders are 65 points at 29, 24, and 7. The Penguins, 27, 20, and 9, 63 points. The Capitals, 28, 25, and 6 at 62 points. The Flyers, 23, 25, and 10, 56 points. And the Blue Jackets are still the Blue Jackets at 18, 34, and 5, 41 points. Dropping like a rock. To the West, the Stars are 30, 15, and 12, 72 points. They probably got the most overtime losses. The Jets, 35, 21, and 1, 71 points. Oh boy. Avalanche, last year's champions, 31, 19, and 5, 67 points. The Wild, 65 points, 30, 30, 21, and 5. Excuse me. The Predators, 26, 22, and 6, 58 points. The Blues, 26, 28, and 3, 55 points. The Coyotes at 49 points at 20, 28, and 9. And the Lonely Blackhawks, 18, 32, and 5, 41 points. They used to be so good.
Yeah, with Taves, Kane, and Patrick Sharp
Yeah,
and Corey
yeah.
Crawford.
Now it's down the tubes. All
What the
right, to the
hell
Pacific.
happened?
The Knights, 34-18-4, 72 points. The Kings, 71 points, 32-18-7. Right behind them, the Kraken at 32-19-6, 70 points. Not
Oh,
bad.
third place. Third place. I thought they were second. I guess it
Now
changed.
but it's too close to call. I mean, the
Tight.
top three teams are just a point within each other, so this is going to be really good coming down the stretch. Fasten your seatbelts, everybody. Oilers, 68 points, 30-19-8. The Flames, 63 points at 26-20-11. Further down the list are the Canucks at 48 points at 22-30-4. The Sharks, 18-29-11, 47 points. And the Ducks are nothing to quack up about it, 17-34-7. Oh boy, I think I better said that. Okay, now to the hardwood. And it goes, well, there are no games until Thursday, but I'll read the schedule for Thursday anyway. Your early game starts at 7 o'clock with the Nuggets taking on the Cavaliers, the dreaded Celtics taking on the Pacers, your Pistons taking on the Magic, all at 7. 7:30 games. The Grizzlies take on the Sixers. The Pelicans take on the Raptors. 8:30, Spurs take on the Mavericks. 9 o'clock, the Thunder take on the Jazz. At 10 o'clock, the Warriors take on the Lakers. That's on TNT. And the Blazers take on the Kings. By the way, the Grizzlies Sixers game will also be on TNT at 7:30. On Thursday, that is. So the standings heading into the break go this way. To start off with the East, the Celtics are 42-17. The Bucks only a half game behind at 41-17. The Sixers 38-19, 3 games back. The Cavaliers 5 back at 38-23. The Nets 34-24, 7.5 back. And the Knicks are 33-27, 9.5 back. Not bad. On the outside looking in, the Heat are 32-27, 10 back. The Hawks 29-30, 13 back. The Wizards 28-30, 13.5 back. And the Raptors 14 back at 28-31. Further down the list, the Bulls 26-33, 16 back. They got some bad news earlier today. I'll explain that a little bit. The Pacers 16.5 back at 26-34. The Magic 24-35, 18 back. The Hornets 17-43, 25.5 back. And the Pistons are 15-44, 27 back. Ugh.
15,
Yuck.
44, 27 back.
That's what I said.
Fire
Sorry.
Dwayne Casey. Fire Dwayne Casey. Again.
All right, the whole yeah. Over to the West, the Nuggets are 41-18. The Grizzlies are 5 back at 35-22. 8 back are the Kings at 32-25, much improved. The Clippers are 9 back at 33-28. The Suns are 32-28, 9.5 back. And the Mavericks are 31-29, 10.5 back. On the outside looking in, the Pelicans are 30-29, 11 back. The Wolves are also 11 back, but they are 31-30. The Warriors are 29-29, 11.5 back, and the Thunder 28-29, 12 back. So it's a fairly good race between the top 10. Jazz 29-31, 12.5 back. Also 12.5 back are the Blazers at 28-30. The Lakers trying to make a move at 14 back at 27-32. Difficult but not impossible. Further down the list are the Spurs at 14-45 at 27 back, and the Rockets grounded 13-45, 27.5 back, and don't have a prayer. Sorry. All right, on to the news of the day. All right, I got a couple of interesting stories in the whole spectrum of sports, but I'll start in the NBA. Nets coach Jacques Vaughn has agreed to an extension that's expected to keep him in Brooklyn through the 2026-27 season. The Nets announced the deal today for Vaughn, who had signed a 2023-2024 team option but did not disclose terms. Yeah, I'm the last to know as usual. The Nets have the 5th best record in the conference since Vaughn took over on November 1st. The Nets are 34-24 coming out of the All-Star break. Vaughn has showed himself to be a stabilizing leader in the franchise has been looking for. Now he gets a long-term deal that will carry him past the era of, say, Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant. Jacques has made an instant impact in the organization since taking over as head coach on November 1st, said by General Manager Sean Marks' statement. On the court, he has demonstrated his leadership through his ability to contact and communicate at a high level while displaying tremendous instincts for the game as a person. That don't come much better than Jacques. The Nets slid to second in the conference prior to Durant suffering an MCL sprain in January. Durant never played for the Nets again after that, requesting and receiving a trade to the Suns just after Irving moved to the Mavericks. The Nets will try to keep their playoff position hopes alive with Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and Nick Claxton. Yeah, good luck. That kind of, like I said, it kind of worries me a bit. All right. Avalanche defenseman Cal Marker head back into concussion protocol. Head coach Jared Bednar confirmed today that he'll miss the next 2 games. Bednar announced the update Marker's status in his weekly radio appearance. Marker was sidelined 4 games with a head injury he suffered on February 7th when he suffered it from the Pens' Jeff Carter. He returned to the lineup when the Avalanche faced the Blues, but was injured again as a result of another collision. Deja vu. In a post-game interview with the Post-Colorado Springs Gazette, Marker said his prime concern was when getting into the dressing room when he got bruised on the nose just because my opponent hit it. Oof. The Avalanche visit the Jets on Saturday before returning home to face the Flames. Okay. As I mentioned, bad news for the Bulls as guard Lonzo Ball has been ruled out for the rest of the season as he continues to experience discomfort in his basketball activities despite having arthroscopic knee surgery before the season began. Ball has not played a game all season and has not played since January 14th of 2022. It's been a while. He underwent 2 surgeries on his left knee since then. First in late January of 2022, then again 8 months later at the start of training camp. But despite small progress in recent months, he has still not been able to run, cut, or jump without pain. Okay. The news of the shutdown of Ball was expected, considering he has not been able to ramp up any basketball activity all season without discomfort. He missed the entire 2022-23 season. The last season, which is his second of a 4-year, $80 million deal with the Bulls. At the break, the Bulls are 11th and on a 6-game losing streak at 26-33. Like I said, bad news for the Bulls. Wow, just awful. All right, Flyers forward Travis Konecny left last night's victory over the Calgary Flames with an upper body injury in the 3rd period. Konecny was shoved from behind to the boards by Flames defenseman Mackenzie Weegar. He slid along the ice for a few seconds on his stomach before skating off to the locker room. Oh boy. The training staff was with him as Konecny was hunched over. A bright spot otherwise in a rebuilding year for the Flyers. Konecny has 27 goals in the season and has been a consistent presence for the club because they have lacked offense all season. Head coach John Tortorella, who did not have an update on the injury during his post-game conference. And the Flyers are taking on the Oilers tonight as we speak.
Okay. Yeah, it's going on right now in progress.
Yep. Like I said, as we speak. Okay. Well, the wait is over. We have the official announcement here as Kevin Love will now become a member of the Miami Heat. The 5-time All-Star cleared waivers yesterday afternoon, then signed a contract to join the Heat for the remainder of the season. Not long after that, the now former forward of the Cavaliers was in Miami signing with the plans to start working out of his new facility immediately. Love's first practice with the Heat is scheduled for Thursday when the league returns from this All-Star break, and he could start playing as early as Friday against the Bucks. Love is he's a triple crowner, you could say. He has an NBA title, a FIBA World Cup, and an Olympic champion. He is 42nd on the NBA three-point list with 1,536 3-points made. Heat center Bam Adebayo, aka Bam Bam, was hoping Love would come to the Heat if the Cavaliers bought him out. Instead, he planned to call head coach Eric Spoelstra yesterday to start a conversation about how Love might be able to play alongside each other. Over the past 15 seasons, that's right, 15 seasons with the Cavaliers and Wolves, Love has averaged 17.2 points per game and 10.5 rebounds. He averaged a career low of 8.5 points and 6.8 rebounds in 20 minutes per game in 41 games this season, almost as a reserve for the season for the Cavaliers, and did not play in the final 12 games leading up to the All-Star break. This is what led to the buyout talks that let Love come to the Heat. Love also did have talks with the 76ers. Love will wear number 42, just as he did in his college days for the UCLA Bruins and when he was with the Timberwolves. The Heat also signed free agent center Cody Zeller yesterday. He averaged 8.5 points per game and 6.0 rebounds in 494 career games between the Blazers and the Hornets. The Heat are in 7th place in the East at 32-27, 5 games back of the Cavaliers for the 4th spot in the East. The top 4 seeds will have home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. The top 6 in the conference will avoid the dreaded play-in game to determine the 7th and 8th seeded teams. Yeah, I called it the dreaded playoff game. Sorry. Free agent Patrick Beverley is finalizing a deal with an agent Ken Bradbury, he told ESPN. The deal is likely to be completed as early as today, if it hasn't already, when the Bulls are expected to create a waiver spot for Beverley, sources said. The Bulls want Beverley to be a force in the locker room. With a record of 26-33 at the All-Star break, the Bulls are 11th in the Eastern Conference, 2 games back of the Raptors for the final play-in spot. Beverley has averaged 6.4 points per game, 3.1 rebounds, and 2.6 assists in 45 starts for the Lakers before being sent to the Magic before the trade deadline. Just a little joke, folks. The Magic traded Wade Beverley on February 12th after reaching a buyout agreement and cleared waivers to become a free agent. And Greek Freak actually, a few days ago, he suffered a sprained ligament in his right wrist and underwent surgery in New York yesterday. The expectation was they should be able to return to the lineup once the pain subsides. He flew to New York yesterday morning after playing the All-Star game in Utah on Sunday night. Playing for his namesake, team Giannis scored only 2 points as he ducked out of the lineup after that. The Bucks are second in the East and face the Heat on Friday. For the season, Giannis is averaging 31.8 per game, 12.2 rebounds, and 5.4 assists. The only one that's ever had a higher points per game, I think, was Michael Jordan. I think Greek is second all time in that. Wow. After completing a buyout contract for 9-time All-Star guard Russell Westbrook, and the Jazz complete the buyout of the remaining $47 million on his deal, the former MVP will return to Los Angeles after clearing waivers. But it's not with the Lakers, it's for the ugly stepchild baby brother, the Clippers. Just my little joke, folks. The Clippers became interested in Westbrook as team officials such as Ty Lue and team president Lawrence Frank dug into a series of conversations with Westbrook. The discussion centered on Westbrook's willingness to fit into a clear and specific role with the Clippers, built around his playmaking, rebounding, and toughness. Westbrook joins a team that has championship aspirations, including his former Thunder teammate Paul George. Westbrook had discussions with the Bulls, Wizards, and Heat in recent days, but the chance to compete for a title and return to Los Angeles was a factor in the decision making. The Lakers traded Westbrook and a 2027 round pick in the first round as part of a 3-team trade last Wednesday after a season with the Lakers that ended up in total chaos. No, it was kind of chaotic, to be honest. Let's see. Now I got some more here. At the Daytona 500, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. won the longest race in Daytona history. It went to a double overtime finish, resulting in a record 212 laps, a dozen laps beyond the scheduled distance of 530 miles. Stenhouse won in a Chevrolet owned by former NBA player Brad Daugherty of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and was his third win of his career. His only other victories came in the summer 2017 at Talladega and the summer race at Daytona. Ricky Bobby was not there, though, of course. Okay. His 199 winless streak was the fourth longest span between wins in Cup history. Wow. How do you like that? 199 winless. That's something. Yeah. Jonathan Toews announced back on Sunday that he had been dealing with long-term COVID and chronic immune response syndrome. Toews has not played since January 28th. The Blackhawks had placed the center on injured reserve list last Wednesday and was called a non-COVID illness. It's been very challenging to play with these symptoms, said Towns in a statement. Yeah, I can vouch for that. Released by the Blackhawks. In the past few weeks, it has reached the point where I had no choice but to step back and concentrate on becoming healthy. Blackhawks general manager Kyle Davidson told ESPN that with the uncertainty of Toews' health, he would not be traded. The trade deadline is coming up, I think, in about 3 days. Toews missed all of the 2021 season with chronic immune response syndromes. He spent his entire career with the Blackhawks, winning 3 Stanley Cups, including that unbelievable finish in 2010. You know it, the Phantom goal. He is eligible to become a free agent at the end of the season. That 2010 goal is something I think is going to stick in my mind forever. Yeah. Okay. Moving along. Oh, I got some really news too. That's right. So we keep moving along. The ACC released their 2023 football schedule today. That includes 6 incoming teams. Each team of the 14 AAC teams will play 8 games in a single division format. The top 2 teams in the standings will play in the conference title game on December 2nd. Charlotte, Florida Atlantic, North Texas, Rice, UAB, and USTA will officially join the conference on July 1st of this year. Their move from Conference USA will be completed at the same time that the current AAC members Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF will depart for the Big 12. Teams from the AAC will play 6 games each from the SEC and Big 12 and 4 from the Big 10. College football is becoming very complicated in recent years, hasn't it, folks? LSU wide receiver Malik Nappers was arrested on Bourbon Street in, you guessed it, New Orleans. I mean, it is Bourbon Street. Yesterday on misdemeanor charges of carrying an illegal weapon, according to court documents. Court documents showed Nappers was released and not required to post bail, said by an LSU spokesman who told ESPN, and that Coach Brian Kelly was aware of the incident. Nappers is scheduled to appear in court, did appear in court this afternoon, according to a document on the New Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office website. He just completed his sophomore year with LSU and led that with 72 receptions and 10.1 receiving yards. He caught 3 touchdown passes and had 14.1 yards per carry. He finished second in receiving yards to Jalen Hyatt. According to NOLA, the average was the French Quarter around 7:30 p.m., 8:30 p.m. here, when police spotted an L-shaped object on him. Neighbors did not have a permit when asked by police. Okay. Nice going. Derek Carr's free agency will be a long process, according to the quarterback's brother, who said the four-time Pro Bowler will do his diligence in choosing his next team. Carr spent last weekend with the New York Jets and spent several days last month with the Saints. Yet, he is still a free agent this week, after being released by the Raiders. His brother David, who was also a quarterback, discussed Derek's recent visit with the Jets in an interview just last night. David Carr said it was going to be a long process, he told the NFL Network. He really only has the Saints, Jets, and the Raiders to compare of those 3 places. So he wants to do his diligence and sees as many places he can really feel for what is the best place for him. The Panthers also have a link to Carr, but league sources told ESPN that the Panthers do not plan to pursue Carr at this point in time. The Panthers could also show interest in Carr, the source told ESPN, if he does not sign quickly with one of his primary suitors and asking for a lower price on his new contract. David said that his brother hit it off with the Jets coach Robert Saleh and noted that the younger brother had a relationship with new Jets quarterbacks coach Todd Dowling, who was a Raiders assistant during Carr's first 3 Pro Bowl years between 2015 and 2017. All right. Moving along. MLB announced yesterday that Nick Martinez will replace Dodgers ace Clayton Kershaw in the upcoming World Baseball Classic next month. Martinez went 4-4 with a 3.47 ERA in 44 games last season with the Padres, making 10 starts and saving 8. He finalized a 3-year deal worth $26 million to the Padres in November. Kershaw announced on Friday that he would not participate in the World Baseball Classic, but the 3-time Cy Young winner did not specify a reason as to why he would not play. And according to one comment, said contract won't cover injury. Okay, I'll buy that. You're probably right. I get a lot of critics. Right. Moving down the line here.
Hey.
Yeah. Indian infielder Elvis Andreas and the White Sox came to terms on a 1-year deal worth $3 million. The deal was announced yesterday by the team. Andreas spent the last 2 months of last season with the White Sox, filling in for injured shortstop Tim Anderson. Honduras will play at second base, sources said, after spending his entire career at shortstop, which was at 1,914 games. That's a lot. He has 96 home runs and 335 stolen bases in his career. 1914 games in the same position. Wow. Okay, moving along. Manny Machado says he plans to opt out of the Padres after this season is over. Machado signed a 10-year, $300 million deal in February of 2019, a deal that gives him the right to terminate the deal after the season and becomes a free agent. The third baseman would give up $150 million of his current deal, which calls for $30 million in annual salary through 2028. I think you're nuts. It's obvious the Padres knew where I stand my situation with the opt-out coming, Machado told reporters back on Friday, and the Padres training facility. I think I've expressed that I will opt out after the season, but my focus is not about 2024. I think it's about this year and what I can do for the ball club and what I have done for the team and we will continue to do here. I think it's something special here and it's not going to change. He helped the Padres to an 83-79 season and went to the NLCS before losing to the Phillies. Machado declined to comment on his negotiations for a new deal. Still, to give up $150 million, boy, something I wouldn't do. Angels reliever Matt Moore, with two O's, agreed to terms on a one-year deal worth $7.5 million back on Friday. Moore is coming off a year with the Texas Rangers going 5-2 with an ERA of 1.95, making 65 appearances in relief. This will be his sixth team in 6 seasons, including twice with the Rangers. Moore pitched in Japan during the 2020 seasons. His overall record, though, not that great. 61-62 with a 4.45 ERA in 268 games with 164 starts in 11 seasons with the Rays, Giants, Tigers, and Phillies, and counting Rangers twice. So, not that great. Not terrible, but not that great.
Bally Sports.
Well, with a 61-62 record,
Okay.
that's,
I'm sorry. Oh, the player, not the networks. Never mind.
No. 61-62, well, you can't say it's pitiful, but it's not spectacular either.
Right, it's average.
Well, slightly below, but it could be worse.
Same thing.
Yeah, I know, but still, I mean, if you want to play in the majors, you got to do a bit better than that. Okay. Chargers defensive coordinator Ronaldo Hill is leaving LA to reunite with Dolphins coordinator Vic Fangio and become the Dolphins defensive pass coordinator. The change will promote secondary coach Derek Ainsley to defense coordinator and Tommy Donnell to secondary coach, sources confirmed to ESPN. The NFL Network first reported the promotions. Coach Brandon Stanley will handle the play calling duties. Stanley allowed Hill to move to Miami out of respect for Hill and Fango, whom Stanley served as an assistant coach for 3 seasons with the Bears and Broncos from 2017 to 2019. Hill was the defensive backs coach for the Broncos under Fango in the 2019 and 2020 seasons. Hill played in the NFL for 10 seasons, including 2 seasons with the Dolphins, and was an assistant defensive backs coach with the Dolphins in 2018. No. For that. Okay. New York Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, or as we say, Danny Dimes, is in the process of switching agents with a new contract and free agency looming. Jones has been presented by CAA Sports since he was selected 6th out of Duke in 2019. Duke not really known for its football program. The expectation is he will join athletes first in a search for a long-term deal. Jones did not have his 5th-year option exercised by the Giants' new administration, but his most efficient season in a make-or-break year, and General Manager Joe Schoenen made it clear the following this season, the Giants wanted Jones back as their starter. We are happy that Jones will be back. Hopefully, we can get something done with his representatives, and that would be the goal, to build the team around him where they can lead us to a Super Bowl. The Giants will use the franchise tag on Jones if a long-term deal cannot be reached by March 7th. It's only a week away. The non-exclusive tag for a quarterback is $32 million. Okay, if you want exact numbers, $32.4 million. But that would limit the ability of spending in the offseason and to gain weapons Jones and the Giants had tackled this past season. Kind of goes both ways, doesn't it? All right. I take another notes here. Oh, there was something I wanted to mention. I know we don't talk a lot of MLS soccer, but I did find something interesting. There'll be a change next year as be three playoff series in the first round. They'll be also expanding to nine teams. Oh, here it is. There'll be 9 teams for each conference to qualify for the postseason, with the addition of a wild card in the first round, which will be a best of 3 series. The new format takes effect starting in the 2023 season, which begins this weekend, actually. With the league now expanding to 29 teams following the debut of St. Louis FC, meaning 62% of all teams will make the postseason. Hopefully, my Red Bulls will be one of them. 9 clubs from each conference will make the playoffs. It's the highest in league history, minus the 2020 pandemic season, when 10 teams from each conference made the postseason. Last year, 7 teams from each conference made the playoffs, with the top seeds getting a first round bye. As part of the new format, the teams finishing 8th and 9th will play one wildcard game, with the winner facing the top seed. Good luck with that one. Other round matchups are 2 through 7, 3 through 6, and 4th versus 5. The higher seed will host the first and third game in the series, and game 3 if needed. Games will not end in ties as in past years, and will go straight to penalty kicks if they are tied at the end of regulation. The first team to win 2 out of 3 in that first round series will advance. If you ask me, I think the MLS soccer season starts a little bit too early. I mean, for one thing, it's still winter out here. And it makes it kind of hard to play in that, well, you know.
Playing surface?
Yeah. I mean, because we're still in winter. Okay. Free agent Myers Leonard, who has been out for over a year after shouting out a slur during a live stream broadcast before rehabbing post-surgical nerve damage on his right leg, signed a 10-day contract with the Milwaukee Bucks yesterday. The Bucks have been monitoring Leonard's progress for over a year, conducted a workout with him last month. The Bucks had an open roster spot and wanted to bring a big man with shooting ability and playoff history. Leonard had been in 24 games during his 7 years with the Blazers. Yeah, okay. Islanders center Matthew Barzal will miss time with the team as he suffered a lower body injury, which puts the Islanders in a deep hole and could miss the playoffs. He was injured on a hit by Craig Smith of the Bruins on Saturday. Barzal appeared to take a knee-to-knee hit on the ice after that, so this might dampen the Islanders' chances to make the postseason. Okay. So moving along, yeah. I mean, that's the last thing you need now is to get hit as we go into March, and with only about 20 games left. Ryan O'Reilly. He made his Leafs debut as he scored twice in a 5-0 victory over Montreal back on Sunday night. Noel Accuracy made his debut as well. Both players were acquired from the Blues in a blockbuster trade late on Friday. This came just as advertised in terms of their personality, said head coach Sheldon Keefe.
We mentioned earlier Ryan O'Reilly scored a hat trick in Buffalo.
Wow.
Tonight.
There are two players who are very experienced and accomplished players who can fit with each other's players on the team. O'Reilly helped the Blues win their first and only Stanley Cup championship back in 2019 and brings his pedigree to a Leafs team looking to get past the first round of the playoffs, which they haven't been able to do in recent years. Okay, for you NBA All-Star fans out there, I got some news for you. Former poster boy of the Slam Dunk Contest, Mac McClung, dazzled the crowd on Sunday night. He stole the show. I guess he was either Michael Jordan or Dominique Williams. Well, I wouldn't go that far. With only 2 NBA games to his credit, Lakers and Bulls, McClung signed a 2-way contract with the Sixers this week and dominated in the Slam Dunk Contest. 3 of his 4 slam dunks earned him a straight 50 from the panel of judges, who completed all of them on his first attempt. That generated a buzz with the crowd at the arena. McClung became a YouTube sensation in his high school, known for his compilations that seemed otherworldly for a player who was standing at 6'2". Despite his size, McClung, watching the 2016 slam dunk between Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon, made him dream big and maybe play in the part of it one day. He opened with 50s across the board as he took the ball from a friend sitting on another friend's shoulders. Chase Sinks, who says he is as a jump specialist, and high school buddy Bradley Dean, and tapped it against the backboard before putting it through the hoop. His second dunk was a two-handed dunk, landing at 49.8, just short of 50. Thank you, Lisa Leslie. McClung entered the final round, taking the ball again, and performed with a double pump before finishing the dunk with a two-handed reverse that gave him another perfect score. For his final attempt, McClung put on his old high school jersey over his Sixers uniform, throwing down a two-handed dunk, 1.5 turns into the air to seal the deal. Wow. At the final seconds tick down in the three-point contest for Damian Lillard, or as I say, Lizard, he thought he had to make the shots to tie Buddy Hield in order to win. Then he looked over at the video board after knocking down his final shots, and he said he scored a score of 26 points, ahead of Buddy. As I got down the stretch of the last 2 racks, I was like coming, said Lillard. I knew that I had to make all of them, but I thought I was on track to tie him. Then I looked up and went, hey, that's 26. It's ironic it came down to that. I had to tighten up and come big at the end. Bill Lillard, known for his game-clutch shots, says it's just typical of me. Lillard was one of 5 in the competition, along with Tyrese Haliburton of the Pacers, Celtics forward Jason Tatum, Knicks forward Julius Randle, and Jazz forward Lauri Markkanen, placed second behind Haliburton, ahead of Hield through the first round. That put Lillard in position to follow through on a pledge he delivered to his competitors before it began, and said that he would end up with the victory. Yeah, signed, sealed, and delivered, of course. Yeah, well. And Team Utah won the All-Star Skills Challenge. The team of Jordan Clarkson, Walter Kessler, and Colton Sexton beat out the Greek Freak Squad and company to win the skills competition. The competition is 3 rounds of relay, passing, and shooting. The relay round included an obstacle course with moving LED screens set up by neon lights. The passing round required players to move from spot to spot, throwing feeds from side to side. The shooting round made the players rebound from one another team and spotting around the court for shots ranging from 1 to 5 points. All right. LA Kings goaltender Phoenix Copley, yes, his name is Phoenix, was given a match play penalty for throwing a punch while still wearing his blocking glove. Just before the end of period 2, Ducks forward Max Jones was entangled with 3 of the team's defensemen to the left of Copley. Ducks forward Frank uh, Vaneto skated across the crease and threw a left jab at Copley's mask. Oh boy. Sounds a little ridiculous, but that's happened. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And just to update something here from the world of golf, Tiger Woods did make the cut at the Genesis Invitational Tournament on Friday, finishing 3 over par 74 at the end of the round after shooting a respectable 69 on Thursday. Unfortunately, though, he did not win the tournament. Tiger's back, but he's not the same Tiger as he once was. Then again, at 48 years old, we kind of expected that not to happen. I'm getting old too. Oh boy. All right, so that's gonna wrap up for my report. I'll turn it back over to you.
All right, so that was episode 38 of True Sports. I'm Taylor Phillips. He's Louis Tenor. We'll be back sometime next week for episode 39. Till then, I'm Taylor. He's Louis. Yeah, until next week. See you later.
Folks.